You think you know the Dutch, tall people riding bikes through a country that's basically underwater. What if their story begins not in their famous lowlands, but in the violent collapse of the Roman Empire? And what if the same people who invented wooden shoes were also among the first Europeans to set foot on the shores of Australia and New Zealand? The truth about the Dutch people is far stranger, far more brutal, and far more globally interconnected than any textbook ever told you. And by the end of this video, everything you thought you knew will be completely shattered. Let's dig in. From the ancient tribal warriors who carved out territories in a flooded wasteland, to the merchant explorers who conquered half the known world, to the genetic codes that connect them to migrations older than recorded history itself, we're about to uncover the real story of the Dutch people. This isn't about windmills and tulips. This is about survival, conquest, and the ancient bloodlines that created one of the most influential cultures in human history. The origins of the Dutch, they're hiding in plain sight, waiting to reveal a story that spans from the frozen forests of Germania to the tropical islands of the Pacific. These tall bike-riding, dairy-loving people, where did they actually come from? Before we can understand their origins, we need to understand their home, the Netherlands. The name literally means lowlands, and that's not marketing. 1/3 of the entire country sits below sea level. Think about that for a second. Without constant intervention, without an endless network of dikes, dams, and pumping stations, a massive chunk of the Netherlands would simply cease to exist, swallowed by the North Sea. This isn't a fun geographical quirk. This is an existential threat that has shaped Dutch culture for over 1,000 years. Living in a place where the ocean wants to reclaim your home every single day. That creates a specific type of person, methodical, engineering-minded, obsessed with precision and control. The Dutch didn't just adapt to water, they conquered it. They turned their greatest weakness into their greatest strength. The same hydraulic engineering that keeps their country dry. That technology made them naval superpowers, but here's what's fascinating. This relationship with water isn't new, it's ancient. The earliest peoples who settled in this region thousands of years ago were already building terpen, artificial dwelling mounds, to stay above floodwaters. Which raises the question, who were these early settlers who looked at a flooded marsh and thought, yeah, this is home? The answer takes us back over 2,000 years, long before the Netherlands existed as a concept, before the nation-state, before the flags and borders. There were tribes, Germanic tribes. Since before the Romans even knew Gaul existed, peoples collectively called Germani in Latin were already reshaping the ethnic and linguistic landscape of Northern Europe. These weren't unified people. They were dozens of distinct tribes with their own customs, dialects, and territories. But they shared something crucial: language roots, cultural practices, and a fierce resistance to Roman expansion. The ancestors of the modern Dutch, they were predominantly Frankish tribes along with Saxons, Frisians, and Batavians. These groups occupied the Rhine River Delta region, the exact location of the modern Netherlands, for centuries. When Rome tried to expand northward, they hit a wall. These Germanic tribes didn't play by Roman rules. The Battle of the Teutberg Forest in 9 AD saw Germanic warriors obliterate 3 entire Roman legions. It was one of Rome's worst military disasters. The Romans learned their lesson. They established the Rhine River as their northern frontier and basically said, "We're good here, you keep your swamps." But here's where history gets very interesting. Fast forward to the 4th and 5th centuries, the Western Roman Empire is collapsing. And those same Germanic tribes, they don't just defend their territory, they sweep across the entire crumbling empire. They establish kingdoms in Italy, Gaul, Britain, Iberia, even North Africa. The Franks, ancestors of the Dutch, created one of the most powerful kingdoms in post-Roman Europe. Under Charlemagne, the Frankish Empire dominated the continent. This is the blood that runs through Dutch veins, not passive farmers, warriors, empire builders. Now, if you want proof of these ancient connections, just listen. Dutch is a Germanic language. Specifically, it's the 3rd most widely spoken Germanic language after English and German. And when you hear it, you can literally hear the family resemblance. Let me give you some examples. Water in English, Wasser in German. Water in Dutch, school in English, Schlaar in German, school in Dutch, garden in English, garden in German, Turin in Dutch. That last one's different, but you get the pattern. These aren't coincidences, they're linguistic fossils. Each word is evidence of a shared ancestor language, Proto-Germanic, spoken thousands of years ago by those ancient tribes we just talked about. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The Netherlands isn't the only place Dutch is spoken. In Belgium, they speak Flemish, which is essentially a dialect of Dutch. In South Africa, they speak Afrikaans, which evolved from the Dutch brought by colonizers in the 1600s. This language spread tells a story not just of ancient tribal origins, but of a people who didn't stay home, who took to the seas and brought their language, their culture, their DNA to every corner of the globe. Which brings us to